In a studio that's in a basement comes the epic story of how two friends changed the future of the movie podcast game forever. The reviews are in. Boys Life magazine gives the High Sci podcast 4.5 acorns. The Daily Bugle says, these guys are super legit. And Pope Francis declares the podcast as life-affirming. From the kid who tried to get smart with David Spade and got fucking old.
You're still out. You're still bad.
And the guy who can name all four Baldwin brothers.
Alec, William, Daniel, and the baby boy, Stephen.
Live from the studio of his parents' basement, the Have You Seen It podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. Sitting across me is the one and only Cash Krause. But before we begin, if you guys could please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. So with that said, Cash, what are we reviewing today?
Oh, what a treat, Mason. A big summer blockbuster that we've been waiting for a while.
Huge.
It's gonna be huge. Is that still relevant? Did those still hit?
It's about a year old, but you know.
Yeah, are we still doing that? It's not Suicide Squad. It is the Suicide Squad. Not Suicide Squad 2.
No.
Not the sequel.
Nope.
The Suicide Squad. That's what it is. Directed by a good guy. Never has tweeted anything controversial in his life.
Not at all.
James Gunn. A great director, though, nonetheless, no matter what you say about him.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal director.
You know what? I say let bygones be bygones.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is, and I don't care. I gotta separate. But he is so good at making you care for characters that you would never fucking care for. He obviously did it with Guardians of the Galaxy, you know? Right. No one cared about those guys.
Didn't even know who they were.
By the end, I was crying for a tree. It made no sense, but he makes you... And he did the exact same thing, man. He did the exact same thing with this. I mean, I don't know if you just want to jump into it, but it's... I was blown away by it. It's phenomenal. I could not... I had the biggest smile leaving the theater. I did see it in theaters.
Nice.
Yeah.
I watched it on HBO Max twice.
It is well worth going and see it in theaters, even if you saw it twice, because there's some beautiful, beautiful shots in this scene or in this film that are worth seeing on the big screen. That shot when King Shark, when they're walking up the rain and he tears the guy apart and the lightning is going in the back. It's like a metal album or something. It looks so fucking good, dude, on the big screen. But I was blown away by this film. It instantly launches into my top 10 of superhero films. I mean... And it transcends summer blockbusters. It's better than a summer blockbuster. Yeah. It is just a phenomenal film. I loved it.
Well, and we'll just jump into it. I mean, let's talk about the cast. You got Margot Robbie, Idris Elba, John Cena.
Cena.
You see him? No,
I didn't.
Sylvester Stallone, Viola Davis. I mean, the list goes on and
Taika
on.
Waititi.
As the Rat King. No,
Rat Catcher number one. Yeah.
Yes.
You had Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
Was fantastic. Yeah. You had so many people. David Dastmalchian as Polka Dot Man, who kind of steals the show. And Ratcatcher 2, who is Daniela Melchior.
Yes.
First English language film.
Really?
What a find she's gonna blow up, dude.
She was great.
She steals the show in this. She's damn near the main character. I would have to say she is the main character.
And she saved the day. Well, I mean, technically not her, but her friends did.
Yeah, and she was the one holding them together the whole time. Really, the glue that held together this dysfunctional team.
And she was King Shark's very first friend.
Yeah, and the way her storytelling and how that character was built was perfect. But the way they showed her backstory with Taika Waititi as her dad, super fucking sad.
Yeah, super sad.
But super well done how they showed it in the mirror or the window of the van. I love that.
Yeah. There was a lot of really cool shots. I mean, even to open up, you know, you got the reflection of the puddle.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And then Michael Rooker as Savant. We never got to see his full potential, but
well, and he kind of ran. Kind of got a little shell shocked, and Panicked.
Yeah.
You never want to panic under fire.
No, absolutely not. And he killed that bird, so you didn't feel bad for him.
Yeah, you know, and I knew that was coming too. A lot of these
Of
things that you
course,
see
yeah.
in Suicide Squad, I'm just like, okay, yep, that one's coming. One in particular, Margot Robbie, right?
Right.
And playing Harley Quinn. And I love the character of Harley Quinn because she's predictable, but she's also so unpredictable as well. She's so manic and crazy.
Yeah.
That like you know for a fact like she's gonna pull the trigger, like Luna, the commander.
That's what's good about the people writing these characters is they clearly know who these characters are. And like you said, with Margot Robbie, you think you'll know. I'm with Harley Quinn, I should say. You think you'll know like where this character is going, and then she'll do something insane. You got to remember, oh, she's a crazy person,
Right.
so you can't.
Yep.
But they know. I mean, and they keep it so fucking fresh. And with all these people, because they're all crazy and they're all villains, you never know. John Cena as Peacemaker was fucking hilarious. But let me tell you,
I gotta talk about one thing with Cena though.
well, what about
They
it?
just won't let this fucker die in a film. I swear to God, any film this guy's in, name me one film
Did
that
he
John
not?
Cena.
He didn't die in this. Did he?
Oh, did you see the post-credit scene?
No, I didn't see it.
No, he's still alive.
Well, that must be because I thought the new Peacemaker show was going to be before,
Yes.
but it must be after this.
It's
then.
after,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Well, I still loved him, but man, they got to start Roy testing these guys. He is so fucking jacked in this, bro. It's clearly growth hormone. I mean, he's on a cycle.
This is the question I have to ask: real or fake? The whitey tighty scene.
Oh, I don't think he's. But that's
Is he back in that much heat? Because that was almost comedic.
That
how
was
big
so.
that
There's no
thing
way.
was.
The
There's
fuck.
no way.
We gotta talk
It's gotta
about.
be cold outside. You know,
bro, he's
You
got
just
a
don't have
hog.
egg.
No.
That was a fucking
Peacemaker.
hog, bro.
Yeah, all those guys are packing. Fuck
Yeah, they are.
You don't become a supervillain, not. But yeah, we got to let's talk about the violence.
Yes.
Because I saw there's big uproar about. I heard before going in, parents were upset. They took their kids, and I knew it was rated R. But this film is the most violent superhero film we've seen.
Absolutely.
There are people getting torn in half. Their heads getting split.
And not at the neck either.
I'm
You're
talking-
talking boomerang throwing, and then
I am
cut the guy
talking
in half.
horror film gore.
But it was fun.
It worked so fucking. It was so much fun. Yeah, but I get it. I guarantee there's parents taking their kids and knowing he was going to be violent.
Yeah.
But not knowing in the first 5 minutes they're going to see some guy's boomerang goes through and the guy's head slides off his fucking.
Well, and then the helicopter when she jumps on it, and then she's burning alive.
and the Captain Boomerang is. It's so brutal, dude. It's
Super violent.
so fucking brutal. And
But it's everything that you want in a film like this, like a Suicide Squad. They're villains. It's rated R. Like, that's what you want. You want the gore. You want the violence. And that's what I loved about it. And there were so many funny moments throughout this.
That's what James Gunn is. He may be the best at knowing what the audience wants. Because
Absolutely.
everything I was hoping was going to happen ended up happening.
Yes.
I was hoping at some point someone was going to have to fight Peacemaker. I was hoping it was going to be more Bloodsport, Idris Elba. But it ended up being Flag, which was just as good. But I was hoping King Shark was going to go crazy at some point, which he did when he tore that guy's head off.
That was awesome. That was
And
so
he went crazy
awesome.
too when he finally jumped on Starro or whatever. So I was just waiting for him to unleash, But so many things like that I was hoping were going to happen. It's just that rare thing where they all ended up happening. Yeah. Exactly what I fucking.
I got to talk about one of it might have been the best moment in the film as far as comedic wise. Fucking had me howling laughing. It was so good. So Flag gets captured by the rebels, but at this point we don't know they're the freedom fighters, right? They obliterate these people.
I did
just
not
mow them
I
down.
didn't have that big of an audience in the theater, but
Yeah.
people were dying. And I was thinking the whole time, man, these guys are just falling over.
Dude,
But that scene when John Cena walks up and the guy's sleeping, he's got it's so fucking funny,
It
dude.
is.
I was dying. And then they like open the door and two guys are just on fire. It's so
and then they get to the. I like the creativeness too, because the one guy's in the bathtub, shoots the thing, the fan falls.
Oh yeah, they're trying to do, and John Cena jumps on the roof and he's got the shortest blow dart.
Yeah, ever.
It's going 100 yards.
It's a great shot.
But they're like showing off to see who could do like the best
The
kill. And
coolest
they're just
stuff.
taking these guys out.
Yeah.
it's brutal.
And I love the guy just wakes up in the morning, cup of Joe, dick out.
What was
Boom, gets shot. I was like, all right, I saw some dick.
Like, clearly, obviously, none of these guys were ready.
No.
It was like they're starting their morning. They had no...
Exactly.
And then King Shark devouring...
Eat one. Just eat some. Nom nom.
And then they open up, and the joke... The whole time, where are they going with this?
Yeah.
It's too easy.
It was way too easy.
The joke is they open up where Rick
tent.
Flag is getting... he's being held, and he's... having coffee with
tea. Remember? Because they're like, is
the
that
head
green
of
tea?
The army, which ends up being rebels.
Yep.
They end up finding out that they rescued Flag from the ambush and were helping him, and all these guys were the ones that rescued him. But
killed them all.
The delivery is she wakes, or the lady that's head of the army, head of the rebellion. She's like, "There's no way you would have got past my men.
How did they not let me know you were here?" And they're
And
like,
she runs out, and they're like, no men.
no men. We didn't see anyone. They might have been out.
And she runs out, and corpses fucking
Burnt
charred
corpses. Yeah. Dude,
that guy in the bathtub,
Yeah.
electrocuted. It's fucking. It just remind you that these are not heroes in any sense.
Absolutely not.
They're fucking. They only know one thing. That's to kill. Especially Peacemaker, who's talking about. I laugh so hard when he's like, I got one in the office, and it's just some lady at her desk.
When they're rescuing Harley Quinn, just clearly
Ready to
has
take her
no
out
idea.
anytime. The whole time he's talking about he'll kill anyone for peace.
Women, children, anyone for peace, anyone for liberty. is
And
what he
immediately they
said.
go, I think you're just making excuses to kill people.
Yeah.
And it just fucking shakes his world. Yeah. I loved it, man. That scene, and they kept going to the polka dot man joke where they it worked for me every time, especially at the end. Because polka dot man, he's fucked up. That's the thing about this film is it's super dark.
It's super dark. Well, his parents, his mom more specifically,
Worked at
was a
Star
scientist.
Labs,
Yeah,
who
Star
is how
Labs.
Flash got his powers.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she wanted her kids to be superheroes.
Kids. I think she might have adopted a bunch of kids to just experiment on them.
Yeah. And some died, some didn't make it, some did.
But
it fucked him up.
The genius of figuring out a way to make Polka Dot Man likable was giving him the interdimensional virus.
Yep.
That was brutal when he would wake up and he would have the look like an elephant
sores
man
everywhere.
Like, what's... It's so fucking funny when Bloodsport Idris Elba wakes up too, and he's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he wakes up and he's just covered in these giant like sores and wounds, and he goes out and he pukes like a fucking rainbow or something, and he's fine. But yeah, I was heartbroken when Polka Dot Man passed.
It was a swift death, though.
But when he's like, your mom, and it was sorrow.
She's just punching the building. And I love it when he starts dancing in the club and he's surrounded by just his mom.
Oh my God. Yeah. One of the moms has like a goatee.
A goatee and a
It's
beard.
so
Looks like one of the band members from ZZ Top.
Who is the lady that played his mom?
don't know. She
It's
crushed
so
it.
fun. Because she's the most plain looking lady. Like,
Yes.
looks like a mom. But him keeps... Because he says the only way he can kill people is if he views but he only sees everyone. Even at one point, he looks at the team in their King Shark.
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's it was amazing.
Yeah,
and
it was.
we predicted how they were going to get, or they predicted that there'd be a large death early on, and there was, but man, it paid off so much better than what I thought it was going to be. Those deaths were so fucking brutal.
Oh,
we talked
so
about
brutal.
But let's talk about Nathan Fillion's character, the what's his name? TJK. I can't remember. He's like the unarmable man.
Yeah, so he detachable man.
Pop.
Yeah, the detachable kid. That's what it was. TDK.
TDK, the detachable kid. And literally his power is his arm. And I was so funny when all he was doing was slapping their
and they're like, what the?
They're just four guys like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then they start shooting
his arms. He's like, ah!
And you see him like 40 feet away. It's so funny.
And Harley's asking Flag, like, what the hell was this? He's like, I didn't assemble this team.
That's another thing about the Rick Flag character. I never thought I'd be sad about that character, especially after that first movie, you know, just so plain and boring. Yeah. But man, his development of like, he's the only one that gets the team at this point, and now he's always trying to like explain like what's going on. It's great. It's a great character development, and it's how you make an unlikable character likable. I was sad during his demise, but the whole time, you know, he's like the dad of this fucking group, you know, trying to keep everyone together. But
trying to.
I really, really liked his whole character development.
I don't know why I'm spacing it. The rat. We got to talk about that. That was fucking hilarious. He jumps out of the helicopter and he does like a belly flop.
Sriracha or Sebastian, but it's like Sriracha or something.
No, not the rat. I'm talking about the
the weasel.
The weasel. Thank you. He jumps out of the helicopter.
God. I don't think anyone else. No one else was laughing. I thought
that was hilarious.
When they go to the guys on the weasel is played by Sean Gunn, James Gunn's brother, who's in all of his films. They all have to jump out of this plane into water to swim to this island. Yeah, and they're like, they didn't know he couldn't swim. But when they flash back and it's like 5 minutes have passed and they're all just watching the screen like, we fucked up bad. And he's just drowning for so long.
Did anyone ask if the weasel knew how to swim? And then they go back to the base where they're watching the footage.
Yeah, that's
and
what
he's still
and they're just
struggling.
looking at the screen like, oh my God, we fucked up bad.
So funny.
And he dies.
Like, that would be the
dies
character.
Right there.
Well, did you watch the post-credits?
Yeah, I mean,
I knew it. I knew he was going to live.
But he's not in the movie at all. But it was an hilarious death.
It was.
He's just on the shore, just fucking drowned victim. But yeah, that whole intro, like with Nathan Fillion, the arm guy, and Flula Borg as the javelin, who never throws the javelin.
Not one time.
And that scene, his death too, when he's like, they just
carry it for.
You're the only one.
And then she's like, carry it for who? Tell me. What do you mean? Carry it for what?
Somehow he had like a premonition or
something.
But she had to carry that javelin the whole fucking time.
She did. And it comes into play.
It was, all those fucking deaths, dude. The helicopter girl, I can't remember her name.
Gulen or something like that?
I can't remember, but it was like, immediately, like when I saw her jump on the helicopter, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fucking awesome. I thought for sure she was gonna like jump off. But
no, she's burning. Just held on. Crawling out of the fire, out of the abyss.
And then at the end, when they go through like, when they're like, it's like emotional scene and they're going through like everyone that died or whatever, and they go to like Captain Boomerang and it's just like one piece of flesh.
His arm holding the boomerang still.
And it goes to her corpse and just a charred corpse on the beach. It's
another thing that was so funny too is they were doing like a Deadpool. So they were betting and then she walks in and they're like, oh, nothing, just a normal meeting wrapping up.
Yeah.
And she just...
The Amanda Waller character is great. Viola Davis, I mean...
Viola Davis is great, but dude, that character fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, she's so good. You fucking hate her, dude. One of the best, I mean, she's obviously the ultimate villain.
Right.
I got a feeling the third one is finally going to kill her.
Or she's going to take her revenge in a very big way, because she was not happy at the end of this film.
Well,
the
third one will be them fighting against another team of some sort. It's got to be, because this one is always, well, the first one was that stupid fucking witch thing. I can't remember. But this one, they're just fighting against regular people.
Like a bad version of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It was.
A
like,
worse
with the
version
beam and
of the
everything.
new Ghostbusters with the women. Yeah. It was fucking horrible. But, yeah, I think the third one will be against them and some heroes, maybe even them fighting. I thought for sure at one point we were going to see someone, but it's clearly just a Suicide Squad movie. It's no one else.
I like that. I was fine with it.
Yeah, I thought. So. I didn't think that they were going to figure out a way to kill Starro. So I thought at the end, just fucking Superman was going to fly and just fly right through that guy. Yeah. I mean, he could have finished that.
Could have.
Very quickly. But, I mean, how they ended up killing Starro was amazing.
It was awesome.
It was...
Ratcatcher 2 sends millions of rats. She goes, this isn't your city. This is their city.
Oh, my God. And then...
Idris Elba, his character.
And Harley jumping, finally using the javelin the whole time. She's like, carrying this fucking stick around. She's got no reason.
No idea why either. None. And I like that scene, too. There was a lot of really cool artistic shots in this. One, the way that they did the now, and then like the 3 days later when Bloodsport's cleaning the toilets.
I loved all the title cards.
I thought they looked great.
Using the title cards, like, you know, you've seen it in movies before, but they use it like in nature or beside the building, the metal will be like now or 3 days later or whatever. I really like that. It's
I like
like
that
an
style.
artistic decision, but yeah, it fucking works.
Yeah.
Everything worked for this film, though. It's just, again, it all came together.
It did.
I
got to ask you, who's your favorite character?
Oh, I think I love Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
But Ratcatcher, the whole Wakatiti thing was amazing too. That thing at the very end when they were like, "Why rats?" And they're like, he's like, because they're the most hated creature in the world for just being.
And they still have a purpose.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And then he ended up dying of heroin overdose or whatever.
Yeah, rough.
In Portugal. Yeah. But yeah, man, I really liked all these characters.
I loved King Shark, bro. I
King
loved
Shark was
King
good,
Shark.
dude,
There were so many funny moments. Num num.
That scene,
Num num.
we've been talking about a lot of the comedic events, but it gets very dark at some points.
Yeah,
And
for
very
sure.
serious. But that scene when he's at the aquarium and those little, I'm like, what are those? Are those things going to play some kind of role or something? Really, they just played a role in attacking
And trying to kill him, yeah. I thought there were so many times where King Shark was going to die, and I was so upset, and they didn't kill him, thank God.
And we talked about the CGI was amazing for they get very close, especially that aquarium scene, and you can see every fine detail, like like a shark skin, you know, the roughness of a shark skin.
Well, even when Ratcatcher 2 is hugging him in the airplane, or in the helicopter afterwards, and they get that close-up of him smiling.
For being completely CGI the entire time,
it looked really good.
It is extremely well done. Yeah, it's...
And I love that character. I thought it was so... Every joke for
Sly.
King Shark.
I mean, it's not like he was really pushing it with the voice acting, but he did do a good job. Yeah. I did like hand. All right, good.
Yes, good.
Bird. Stay off the comms. So, man. But some of the really dark scenes that were some of my favorite scenes was the scenes with Starro, and when they go into the lab with the Thinker and they've been experimenting on people
For 30 years.
Fucking, and they show like the most recent experiment, that guy cut in half and still alive. It was brutal.
Well, and then like
dude.
people's heads cut off, or like cut off here.
Or
and
them forcibly removing the star and showing that it kills you, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean, it destroys your fucking face and brain. But those scenes were dark. And a giant starfish, horrifying.
Yeah.
I mean,
more
it's
horrifying than what I'd actually thought.
Starfish are fucking... What I remember from marine biology class was they eat everything from the inside out.
Jeez.
Yeah. And this is what, shout out to marine biology teacher, Mr. Roos.
Hey.
He told me before this that if there was ever a creature that was instantly 10,000 times bigger, the starfish would be the scariest creature.
Really?
That's always what he said.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know if he read a comic book or something.
Yeah,
He knew
he's like,
about Starro.
Let me tell you about Starro, kids.
Gave the Justice League a run for their money.
Did.
But it's horrifying, man. When he drags the Thinker into whatever his cavern or whatever. Yeah. And also when he's using when he's talking through whatever the people that he's controlling too is fucking scary. This is my city with the one-eyed chick or whatever. It was horrifying.
And the last line, and I'm paraphrasing
beautiful.
here, yeah, but I was
even
a lot
Starro had
happier.
a deep care. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Uh-huh. He said he goes, I was happier just gazing at the stars.
He says, I was happier floating, gazing at the stars. Because the whole thing, I mean, spoiler throughout the whole thing, was because of the Americans.
Right. And he was captured too.
I even laughed when they saw it, when it was like the astronauts, and they just see fucking Star. It'd be so scary.
I know. I'd be like, what the fuck? Why would you just bring that on?
Guy, we got a starfish out here.
And it's a pretty big starfish.
Well, it gets bigger.
It gets a lot bigger. Yeah.
It starts out pretty big, but it ends up being horrifying. But yeah, that line was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
It was like he was just aimlessly floating through, probably after conquering a planet. He is Starro the Conqueror.
Right.
But he was fine, just flown by. Then we fucking Americans plucked it out.
Grabbed him and then imprisoned him for 30 years. And
Gave him
a
to
bunch
the
of
Nazis.
tests. Yeah, not a good thing. You know, don't give anything like that to the Nazis.
Those damn Nazis, bro. Yeah, I like those scenes, man. It gets scary at one point. It gets really dark, but
it does.
I like. There's a Harley Quinn esque like storyline of her was marrying the
Luna, the general. Yeah, not the general.
I did not know
guy.
where that was going. I'm like, are they going to get fucking married?
See, I knew exactly where it was going.
Well, I knew as
when
soon as he
was
started talking
about killing women and children. I was like,
this
okay,
guy turned
he's
dark.
dead.
It flipped quick.
It flipped a switch.
I mean, they were all talking about how he was just a fucking monster, but it flips when he's like, I'll send every goddamn person to a Utenheim, is what they called the giant Nazi facility that they were holding Starro at and feeding him. Too much.
Oh, too much. He was getting too big.
I got a feeling at one point he is just going to burst
Like,
out of
guys, I'm a little full. Can we wait till tomorrow?
Oh, they had a lot of people to give to him.
Also, how dark. I mean, we'll talk about the dark elements too, but something that might have been looked over but was very dark in my personal opinion, because you don't typically see this, is when they were talking about the former family that was running the country, and then they showed the picture of hung children as well, not just the parents. They hung the whole entire family. And for me, that was very dark, because you don't typically see that in film. Normally they'll be like, oh yeah, and then they killed the family. But like they actually showed the picture of all of those. And that one little boy was like maybe 6 years old, and they hung him.
This film is what was what DC has been trying to do since the start of their venturing into darker superhero films. Yeah. It's the perfect balance of that kind of darkness with, the humor and everything, but it never gets moody and depressing or whatever.
No.
And it's like these characters, they're not taken super serious, too serious to where it's like a drama. That is what they try to do with Batman vs. Superman, the Justice League. There's no lightness in that, you know? It was so fucking serious. But they towed the line so perfectly here that it's taken them almost 20 years, I feel like, to get it right. But
I think the one exception to that would obviously be the Dark Knight trilogy. Didn't have a lot of comedic elements to it,
but was not at all part of this new universe. That's not canon at all. Yeah, that was complete. Whenever I'm talking about DC films, I'm never talking about the Dark Knight trilogy. Yeah, believe me, I'm talking about these newer fucking these new films. Most of the Batmans and the Supermans or whatever. But it's just too serious. It's a downer. But this goes to show you that you could still have that R rating, be a hard R, and it still not be fucking depressing in a drama. Yeah. Because it was those serious moments, like a family being hung or whatever, are really dark. But then you have some fucking hilarious moments of still death, still being dark, but still funny. Like when Milton the bus driver, who's with them the entire time. Like what? Yeah. I was immediately questioning why he was going in the building with them. I'm like, why is this guy still around? And then they have that scene of like he dies. And the polka dot man is like the only one that didn't even know that he was still with them. It was so fucking funny, dude. I love that scene of them explaining like who Milton
was, even though he was with them for half the film.
And then Harley Quinn at the end calls
Bloodsport Milton.
He still hasn't figured out. But yeah, Milton, the bus driver, who's with them so fucking long. He's gotten 0 lines, but ends up having a brutal death. They end up getting shot to death.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it towed that perfect line of now this goes to show you that you can have those really, really dark, even turn it up darker to like, even Deadpool. Deadpool was dark, but you can go even fucking darker and more brutal. And that's exactly, this was like Invincible level.
It was.
Brutality.
Yes, for sure. Invincible or even The Boys. You could reference The Boys as well as far as the
and similar comedy too, because you got to have that offset of comedy.
You do.
You can't just go dark.
No.
That is what they've been doing with DC. You just can't just go dark. You got to have that balance, and no one's better at balancing that than James Gunn.
Yeah.
Who can make you cry at one point and then laugh at another, and make you care for characters that you never thought you'd care for, like the fucking Rick Flag, who at first is just this plain soldier, but then he I don't know, he forces a character to go through like a development with having 3 of the exact same characters in the movie. 3 guys that were raised by their dads to be soldiers. I laughed so hard when she was explaining Peacemaker's origin, and Bloodsport's like, "You're kidding, right?" She's like, "Are you making a joke?" And they're like, "Nope." Like, nope, just another guy that had the exact same story.
Yeah.
He's like, "I just do it better. Smaller bullets."
Right.
I get hit within your shot. Yeah, smaller bullets, yeah. And then he ends up getting shot by a little tiny baby bullet.
He does. It survives, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but...
Yeah, they're setting something up big. Obviously,
Well,
for
he's.
Peacemaker
I mean, he's
in
got the show. Yeah.
yeah.
Which I don't know what the. You like that character a lot, but I mean, you also fucking hated him. So the show's got to do something where you got to make him more likable in a way because he's just the biggest fucking. He's just a big doucher.
He is a douche,
but he also likes to party.
He does like to party.
He's the one that bought him the shots.
But he's the only one that likes to party.
Yeah, and he was also the only one setting them up too. So you got to think maybe the whole drinking thing was just to set him up. Yeah, I loved it though.
I loved it. Yeah, I think James Gunn knocked it out of the frickin' park with this. Definitely will hit my top 10 as well. I was so pleased with this. I literally watched it twice, and we talk about this all the time on the podcast. It is so rare for me to watch a film twice, especially back to back.
Yeah, I'll at least watch it again on HBO Max, but I'll probably go and see it in the theaters again.
But I feel like I've watched it twice, and like for fun, if no one saw it, I feel like I can go watch it again and
absolutely.
have just as much fun the third time. Like it's, I don't want to be hyperbolic here, but it really is for what the genre is. It really is a masterpiece. Like I really enjoyed it.
As far as superhero films go.
Yes.
Absolutely.
As far as the genre goes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I loved it.
It's top of the tier. And now, and now Disney's just got to be like kicking. Because right now, Guardians of the Galaxy could have been coming out.
Could have been. Yeah.
And they could have been making, and this film, I don't know yet, but I hope this film makes $80 billion.
As do I. It took 185 to make.
I know, so. and I hope everyone goes and sees it because it is just, it's again probably the best summer blockbuster in the last 20 years.
But hopefully it's a lesson learned for Disney. Just slow down on the canceling people. Like just
hopefully it's a lesson learned for DC.
Yeah,
get James
hire
Gunn.
Good directors like James Gunn for your films. Yeah.
Hire every time Disney cancels a director, DC should
hire them. Yeah, because they're probably good.
Not maybe every time. It's probably not. Yeah. You probably get some real monsters in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's pick up the scraps. That's all DC can do, I guess, with Disney. But it's
if you want to consider James Gunn's scraps, I will take that up
exactly
11 times.
And now DC's got to lock him down.
Yeah, for
get him an eight picture deal.
And I want to see more DC James Gunn's films too, man. Like he can go back and forth. It's
Let him do everything,
kind of a blessing in disguise because now we're gonna get if he continues to make good DC films, that's gonna be great. I'm gonna fucking love it. I'm gonna tune into anything James Gunn makes. He's a brilliant director.
I think the fact that that Taika Waititi was in this film, and then because he's also a Disney,
he's a big Disney,
I think that's a thing that they don't mind as much if he goes back and forth. Yeah. And I think maybe they'll more accepting toward. Because earlier on, I would never think Disney would even be like, hey, you can make films for us, or you can make films for fucking anyone else. But yeah, you can't, because especially something that directly competes with them.
Right.
Is their biggest property.
Kind of like the Space Jam thing that we talked about, how they didn't end up letting them use Disney characters.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're as petty as they come, and they're being sued by a lot of fucking actors right now.
Holy shit!
That's a whole nother thing.
Dude, yeah,
and rightfully so. Rightfully so. Yeah, they're screwing over.
Well, that's potentially millions of dollars in royalties.
Yeah,
that they're not making. So it's pretty crazy.
Well, not even royalties. It was just their money they were supposed to make on their contract. I mean,
supposed to make on the contract, but also like when that film doesn't go to theaters, you don't get that. You don't get the residuals. You don't get those royalties on top of that because it's all streaming.
Well, yeah, but I think royalties are from like when the movie is like premiering it after and like showing on TV and stuff. Because they just get points back. I mean, that's what they get points off the box office. Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's just their paycheck. They're just like scrapping their paycheck. I mean, they're just pretty much cutting it in half. Yeah, they'll end up getting sued. I don't know what's going to happen because Disney doesn't lose very many lawsuits.
No. They got endless resources.
When you have all the money in the world, it
helps.
It's hard to do, but what judge is going to roll against Scarlett Johansson? Let's think about that.
It's true. It's a good point. You hear that out there, judges?
Yeah,
no ruling against ScarJo.
But yeah, phenomenal film. Go and see this. Watch it on HBO Max. Watch it everywhere you can because it's, again, if you're going to see one superhero film this year,
it's got to be this one.
The Suicide Squad. Yeah, because it's, I don't know where it ranks in my top 10, but it's up there.
It's very high.
I'd have to take a look at the entire list, but my God. And I'm going to have to watch it again to really, but yeah, phenomenal.
Yeah, it was just as great the second time I watched it too.
Yeah, it blew. I mean, a lot of these films have been getting better reviews than I thought, but this is one, since COVID started, this is one that rightfully deserves.
What is it at now on Rotten Tomatoes?
If it's still 100, I don't know if it's 100.
No, it's not 100 anymore. I know that, but
I would probably give this film like a 97 or 98.
Oh, for sure. Easily.
Which
I
is
thought it was
pretty rare.
damn near perfect.
Yeah.
Like, and I didn't have any critiques for it. I just, it's
I
hard to say.
I think there's some lull moments. I think it kind of sags only a little bit with like the blood sport thing in his daughter.
I thought this scene was funny when they're like, no, fuck you, no, fuck you, fuck you. And they keep going back and forth. I thought it was, I liked it. But no, it's sitting at a 92% right now on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, 92. I mean, it was at 100, but I would give it high 90s, man.
For sure. Yeah. It's certified fresh too, so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, anything else on this?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, that is our review for the Suicide Squad. If you guys like what you've seen here, please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause, and until next time.
Bye.